Welcome, ladies. Good evening. My name is Becky Bennett. I am the fundraising manager at REAP Inc., and I'm also on the steering committee for 100 Women Who Care East County. I want to thank you for joining us tonight. We're glad you were able to make it. And we're so glad that we have everyone here in person, and we also have people built virtually on Facebook, and thanks for joining us there as well. And I want to let you know a little bit about 100 Women Who Care if you're a first-time person who's been to one of our meetings and just came to learn a little bit more. 100 Women Who Care is a group of women that gather 4 times a year and make a commitment to donate each time they meet up to $100 to a nonprofit of their choice, or nonprofit that is chosen that night to receive that contribution. And the goal is that more, getting together, all of us at one time, is much easier than those long fundraisers that so many of us probably have done in this room or been part of, and it's a quick way to make a quick impact on our communities. It was actually started back in 2006 in Michigan, and now there are chapters all across North America, and to date they've donated or raised over $1 million to be given back to their communities. So it's been a great organization that is doing a lot all over. And then our chapter actually started back in 2018, 100 Women Who Care East County. Again, who had that idea, wow, this seems pretty quick. We can all get together in 1 hour, donate $100, and someone might be able to walk out with $10,000. Real quick and easy, and we also get a good chance to get together and network and socialize. So if you're looking to become a member or have a couple questions about it, I would ask some questions of you. If you're looking for a way to make an impact in your community, real quick and easy, this is a great organization to be a part of. If you're looking to know more about other nonprofits in the area, we always do a highlight of 2 or 3 nonprofits every night. Gives you an opportunity to learn more about those organizations in case you want to volunteer with them. And then also, it's a great chance for you to network and get with other women who are like-minded and want to just make a powerful impact in our communities and change lives. Our chapter, again, like I said, was founded in 2018. It was in June of 25th. And to date, we have given out over $85,737 to 15 nonprofits since we first started. We know that if the pandemic would not have happened, we would have exceeded that amount substantially because we were gathering at least 100 women at every event that we were doing right before the pandemic hit. But our goal tonight is to raise as much money as we can, also to raise awareness so we can bring us back up to 100 women strong when we get to meet in person the next time. Hopefully we won't be needing to do this virtually the next time when we meet in June. At our last meeting, we had the opportunity to honor 2 nonprofits. They were the Gresham Rotary Club and Sir Optimus International of Gresham. We picked them because they had been doing community events to raise money for scholarships for students to go to Mountain View Community College, and they were not able to do that. So we decided to take up the charge and help and make our focus that time them. And again, $4,720 was raised. I'm part of Rotary, and we are getting ready now to start looking at students' applications for those scholarships so we can award them in April, and then I can give a better little update of how many we awarded those out to and the dollar amounts, but we're getting ready to apply those funds here in the spring to help students so they can start going to college next fall. And we do have a representative here from Sir Optimus, and she just wanted to give a quick, brief recap of what they have been able to accomplish with the funds that they received.
Thank you so much. I just want to extend a big thank you to all of you. Your fundraising helped us give out $10,500 in cash grants last Thursday to 4 young, very deserving women. And over on the table, there are some programs from that, and it has little bios about them. And you'll be fascinated to read about who got the money and the difference that it's going to make to them. And so I just say thank you from Sir Optimus and Gresham.
Thank you so much for that recap of how you used the funds, and I'm so glad that we were able to help make an impact. Tonight we're going to hear from 2 nonprofits, and we selected these nonprofits in advance this time again since we were unable to get together with the large group of women that we had in the past. And this time we decided to do the focus on nonprofits that are providing either free or sliding scale services in the health and wellness needs of people in our community. So we picked this year Guide Dogs for the Blind and the Good News Community Health Center. Guide Dogs for the Blind is an industry-leading guide dog training school that prepares highly qualified guide dogs. They also provide guide dog readiness skills and youth programs to empower individuals who are blind or visually impaired. The Good News Community Health Center is a nonprofit, faith and community-based health center serving our neighbors in the Rockwood and East Multnomah County. I'm going to give, they're all going to come up, both going to come up one at a time and talk about 5 minutes and tell you more about their organizations. And we hope you'll get a lot of information out of this and also help spread the word to the community of the services that they're doing as well. And then if you have any questions, you'll have an opportunity to ask those after they're done speaking. And for those that are watching on Facebook Live, if you just want to put those in the chat, then we can, those questions will be relayed to me and we can ask them for you. And we're also going to be asking you for money tonight. And that's one reason we're all here is to donate. And we usually do like to ask a $100 commitment from you, but we do understand that times are different for a lot of people right now, and we're just asking you to give what you can if you can't make that $100 amount. And you also have the option, instead of just picking one nonprofit, because we do have two, you can split up your donation. You can give to both nonprofits if you'd like to, so that way it's a win-win for both of them. Now, there's ways that you can pay. You can pay by cash or check tonight. You'll make that check out to the nonprofit itself because we don't handle the money internally. It goes straight right to the nonprofit. They also do have links on their website pages to donate. They both do, so just get on both of their website pages and you can donate right through there as well. Or if you aren't able to do that tonight, you can drop the check off to Gresham Board anytime in the next week. Again, just make sure that you put the name of the nonprofit on there. Yes, Sue.
So I have a question. So if you go on their website and do their link, do they have a way of tracking that that money is coming from someone from 100 women?
If there's a comment section on there, and as most of the donations do, just if you could put down that it's 100 women that care, that would be great for their record keeping. I know that's how Rotary was able to do it, but also we've asked the nonprofits if they can look at their donations at least tonight and maybe over the next week or two to see if you got any in from this cause and this event that's going on tonight and can track those for us, because we do want to give a recap back to at our next meeting of how much money was raised. And so again, also you can find the links for those websites, or for their websites on our website as well, and that's just 100 Women Who Care East County. So if you get into the link onto that, or go onto that webpage, the links to get to the nonprofits' webpages are on there as well. So first though, I would like to invite up Tracy McGee with Guide Dogs for the Blind.
Yay, Tracy.
Well, Tracy's not shy. I think that Tracy's not shy. So.
Well, good evening, ladies. Thank you so much for inviting me. As you notice, I have my trusty cane with me tonight because of COVID and all the things. I haven't had a new four-legged partner for a year and a half. So, yeah. So I'm sorry that you're not able to see the magic that happens from Guide Dogs for the Blind, but I have been honored with receiving 3 guide dogs in my lifetime. First one I received in 1992 when there was not a campus here in Oregon. It was in San Rafael, California. And that first guide dog I received when I was 22 years old, and it changed my life. So since then I've had 2 other guide dogs, and they both were life changers as well, which guide dogs are often referred to as life changers because the speed that you can achieve with a guide dog, it's not achieved with a white cane. There's all kinds of obstacles you have to find with your cane that your guide dog will just gently take you around and you didn't even know they were there. And so navigating the world with a guide dog is so significant for blind people. I right now currently work for Multnomah County, and I'm a cognitive behavioral therapist, and I can tell you as I enter into my clients' housings, it's always different. There's lots of things to navigate that I have to find with my cane, and I'm very interdependent on human connection to make it around. But with a guide dog, I'm able to maintain my independence and do things that are amazing. At one point in my life, I worked at Gresham Ford, and a lot of people were like, why is a blind woman working at Gresham Ford? But I'm telling you right now, it was an amazing experience, and what was some of the most amazing pieces was how my guide dog was able to navigate an ever-changing showroom floor, or the parking lot where the car of the day is parked in front. And it wasn't there yesterday, but it's there today. Or maybe the lot boys are moving things around. And so me being able to navigate that with a cane would have been extremely difficult. But with a guide dog, you're able to do so many things independently that you're not necessarily able to do with a guide dog. I have traveled extensively with guide dogs, navigated airports and hotels, amazing complex different types of centers and conventions and all kinds of things with a guide dog that I wouldn't probably honestly feel super comfortable doing with a cane. I would definitely need to use a lot of apps from my phone to use those video helpers that you can get. But with a guide dog, I don't need any of that. And even though a cane you can fold up and you don't have to feed a cane, it's not going to love you back. There's no relationship, and as many times as I've tried, I can't ask this cane, where's the bathroom? It doesn't know, right? But a guide dog knows. Their language is about 200 words when you receive them and can be exponential when they retire. You can customize a guide dog to find your children. I have 4 beautiful children, and my guide dogs can find my kids in a crowd, in a gymnasium. They can take me to an empty seat. All things you can't do with a cane. So I can't even begin to share with you today how impactful a guide dog is in a blind person's life. I'm sure you've all seen guide dogs out in the community, and each business that welcomes a guide dog partnership into their doors just puts that opportunity out there to see the magic happen right in front of them, and gives that blind person an opportunity to shop and do all the things that they need to do. So I just really appreciate you guys being open, and if you have any questions about guide dogs for the blind, you know that the guide dogs are free to everyone who applies. Not everyone is chosen, and not every guide dog makes it. Out of puppies, I think the ratio is, I want to say 30%. That might be a bit low, but I think that might be accurate right now, of puppies that are born in the guide dog community make it to be a life-changing partner. So it's very rigorous, right? Not every dog, but even if they are a guide dog puppy that's raised, they don't necessarily make it. And then every applicant that applies to Guide Dogs for the Blind is not accepted. Guide Dogs for the Blind is the hardest school to get into. You have to have exemplary white cane skills. You have to know where you're at and know where you're going. So the dog does not know that, but they'll get you there safely. So that's the key to the relationship. Anyways, I'm on the wait list now for a new partner, and hopefully I won't have to wait more than a year to receive a new partner. Does anybody have any questions?
So because of COVID, it's been tougher, because they trained or something, but are you still having graduations? I mean, what's happening there?
So I believe they are just restarting back up for in-person graduations. They have always been, since COVID, they've been in different hybrid forms where they're videoed, then you can join during video. They weren't having audiences, but they were having people graduate. And what they were doing was what's called domicile training, which is from your home. So most applicants that are local, either to San Rafael or to here or in Oregon in this kind of surrounding area, they kind of get preferential treatment because it's easier to put a trainer and a dog in that environment than it is to, but they are traveling out with dogs and cars and now in the planes and taking them out to people, but they just reopened the dorms, I want to say about 6 months ago or so, kind of when the whole place started opening back up with COVID, and they have less students in a class, so they can offer that physical distancing that's important, especially for blind people because we touch and feel everything, and so insurance are very lightly. So yeah, but that's kind of what I know is happening right now with the school, so that's why it's a long wait time to get a dog, because it's two dogs per every one trainer. And there's usually 6
How long is the class, Tracy? How long do you?
So 2 weeks is the training class, whether you are a new user or what we call a retrain.
Well, again, just talking about the graduation, I've been to a couple of them, and they're the most emotional, moving experiences. I mean, you can't go without needing a tissue because they're just amazing.
It is true. It's an amazing gift that a puppy raiser takes this sweet little puppy about 8 to 10 weeks old into their home, loves them, patient with them, potty trains them, all the things, and then they partner them up and then they pass that leash. There's this leash that happens passing on the stage and everyone cries. There's not a dry eye as that puppy raiser says, I didn't think they graduated all of that. And they pass them on to a blind person. It's just the most amazing gift.
And that, the thing they demonstrate at that graduation.
Yeah, the guide dogs can notice
Anybody
you
gets a
overhang.
chance to do it, it's more than, you know, what you can get just watching the dogs. You don't realize how all the things they're doing. It's amazing.
How long are the dogs in training?
They go back to puppy college when they're about, I want to say about 16 months old. It depends on how, so there's 10 phases as their puppies, and they pass each phase, and each phase is complex in how they pass. And so they're in a puppy club, and then there is a regional person in their area that comes in, tests the dogs, and that's how they pass from phase to phase. And so then as they're at the school, they have to then continue phases as they go through training, and that's how the dogs are kind of washed out. But every guide dog, potential guide dog, sometimes is often partnered in a different way if they don't make it, because it, like I said, it's the most rigorous job to be a guide dog. I mean, you're standing at a curb when an ambulance is rushing by, traffic is rushing by, and that dog is statue still, waiting for your hand signal to stay forward. So it's a rigorous job, but they're diabetic dogs now, they're dogs for the deaf. They have all kinds of jobs that they're doing if they don't make it as a guide dog.
Any more questions? Thank you, Tracy.
And now I'd like to invite up Maxine Lawrence with the Good News Community Health Center.
Good evening, everyone. Well, first of all, I'd like to say to Tracy, thank you so much. I received so much education about the guide dogs than I've ever known before, so thank you, Tracy. Good evening to you 100 women plus who care. My name is Maxine Lawrence Clark, and I am the Executive Director of the Good News Community Health Center. Our mission statement is to provide excellent physical, mental, and spiritual care to the underserved with the love of Christ. Now, some of you may know this individual. The clinic was founded by Dr. Robert Sison and his wife, Alice, and their purpose was to help the underserved and the uninsured, particularly those that had no income, such as immigrants and refugees, many of which reside in the Rockwood community. We're located at the corner of 181st and Stark, right by the Papa Murphy and Plaid Pantry. If you, I see you nodding your heads. If you know where we're located, raise your hand. Okay, so quite a few of you know. Now, I first became acquainted with the Good News Community Health Center when I was working with an organization that served homeless women and their children. And many of the women did not have health care due to being in a homeless situation and also due to experiencing substance abuse. The Good News Community Health Center partnered with that organization, and my heart was moved by the excellence continues to be a refuge for women needing gynecological services such as pap smears, STDs, sexually transmitted diseases treatment, and UTIs, and helping with mammograms as well. We operate on a sliding fee schedule, but often when a woman doesn't have the ability to pay for her lab work, Good News Community Health Center absorbs the cost. Now, we're only able to do this by the grace of God through donors who believe in the work and the mission of Good News Community Health Center. I'd like to share with you now a few statistics. Over the last 16 years, Good News Community Health Center and some 500 volunteers have dedicated their time and talent to bringing healing through the course of some 30,000 patient visits, 40,000 medical volunteer hours, 200 students, and some of you don't know this, but Good News Clinic is also a teaching clinic. So there have been many nurses and doctors, individuals who have gone on to medical school, and now they are practicing physicians. Also, there are 65 patient countries of origin, 3,000 counseling hours, and 1,800 hours of homeless care in our community have been given through the Good News Community Health Center. Approximately 50% of our patients are women, ranging from the ages of 18 years old on to seniors. And this is a brief testimonial that I'd like to give. During the 2019, during the pandemic, there was a young woman that came in, and she was really thankful that Good News was caring not only for those that had COVID, but also for other situations. So she came in, and Good News Community Health Center staff met her need and just were really gracious to her. She was so impressed. She went and talked to her mother and said, "You've got to go to this clinic. I received such good care." Her mother sets an appointment, comes to the clinic, and does a mammogram and finds that she has early stages of breast cancer. The mother and the daughter were really, really thankful that they detected it early, and she is progressing in her health care. But we're grateful that Good News Community Center is not just an organization that sometimes you can paint a pretty face, but really not give the care that you say. Our providers really do strive to give excellent health care. Our desire is to continue these efforts. A donation of $5,000 could help approximately 33 women towards breast cancer screening, and as you know, in turn, could help save a life. I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to represent the Good News Community Health Center and to share the work of the Good News Community Health Center. So thank you.
Question. So how do you let the homeless and their sort of know about you? How do they find out about you?
Primarily through word of mouth. I would say to you, now I'm going to tell you something. Homeless individuals will tell other homeless individuals, here's where you can go to get help. And so by word of mouth, and also other organizations and individuals know about Good News and that they can receive that care. And I didn't tell you this, but we also have provide foot washing, foot care. And that's a big deal. And so some of our homeless individuals have come to just have that done. That's a true ministry.
I have another question. So let's say someone comes in, they don't have any insurance, you do some tests on them, and they do have something serious, and they have to go on. Who pays for that? I mean, how does that, what happens to them?
Great question. I'm so glad you asked. So we do have a sliding scale, and so we're going to ask those questions, those screening questions. Do you have such and such and such? They're going to go, and they will say, no, I don't have anything. At that point, we're not going to turn anyone away. We're going to go ahead, let them have their appointment, and then if there are labs that they need, then Good News Community Health Center will pay for that cost.
But if you find something, and they need further treatment.
So then our providers, then they will take it to the next step of referrals. If there's something that really if we can't do, then we know others in the community and have those connections.
Do we have any other questions?
Yes.
So do you, if I like wanted to come in tomorrow and see someone there, is there like a waiting list, or how soon can someone get in and see?
Great question. All right. If a person calls over the phone, they're probably going to be put on, we're going to schedule them. They may not be able to be seen right away. If they come in person and share what their situation is and that they really do need to be seen, then we're going to try to serve that individual.
Okay, so you're pretty much full all the time. There's enough need in the community, and it's not like you're sitting there.
Oh, no. No, we're actually our schedule, there are some people that are waiting until September and October. So, yes.
So is your staff 100% volunteer?
Great question. No, it is not. We have 7 paid staff. So, no, we have a lot of volunteers. I'm very thankful. If we did not have our volunteers, the clinic would not be able to run. But we do have 7 paid staff. 4 of those are part-time individuals, and the other 4 are providers. So nurses, nurse practitioners.
Yes. The checkpoint is short. So is Good News Clinic the proper, or do we need to do the whole thing that we have?
You know what? I want to say, we'll just take that. But the true name is Good News Community Health Center.
One question,
Yes.
sorry.
Oh, that's fine.
Do you receive federal funding?
No, we do not. So the funding that we receive, and thank you for asking that question. The funding that we receive are from private donors such as yourselves, from churches, or from corporations. Yes.
What kinds of jobs do the volunteers perform?
Volunteers, there are various types of jobs, from doing administration work, so answering phones. Now with that would entail training. Sometimes we need individuals that will come in and offer to pray with individuals or ask if there's anything that a person waiting might want to talk about. There are cleaning jobs. If a person has experience with has a medical background, that's very helpful, because sometimes they can come alongside the nurse practitioners and help.
Any more questions?
Thank you so much for inviting us to share.
Thank you for our organizations tonight. And now I would just like to recognize our great sponsors. Our refreshment sponsor is Christine Price with Edward Jones. So we came from Hope's Bakery, so go check them out as well. And then our venue tonight was donated by the Gresham Center for the Arts. organization. There are sign-up forms right there, and you can also find information on our website. And again, that's 100 Women Who Care East County. We also ask if you would please spread the word and let others know about these two great organizations that came to present tonight. I know we probably all have someone in the community that we know who might benefit from the service, or just we know someone who would like to have more information. And then also, please, if you can, make a donation tonight to help support these great nonprofits. Give what you can, and again, you can donate to one or you can donate to both of them. Yes?
Well, I just wanted to see if Christine has
Oh, yeah, Christine, did you want to say anything?
Yes.
Christine always has something great to say.
Okay.
I just love that this is my 19th year being in East County, other than my Edward Jones office. I love supporting small business, so Hope's Bake Shop, she actually just started serving sandwiches. And then, just to brag for a second, I was just named in Forbes magazine as top wealth advisors in the state of Oregon, so I just thought I'd share that with you guys.
And Christina, she is my financial advisor, just so you know, so that's great to hear. Again, in closing, thank you so much for joining us tonight and helping us to make a great impact in our communities, and we hope to see you at our next meeting. We will schedule that in June, so look forward for an email from us with that information. Thank you and good night.